use 123D. I just created a new template. This will give me my primitive shapes, and I'll be able to create my sphere. It has default radius. Note your units, what unit you're working in. That will obviously change the size of your sphere. You can choose to make it larger by typing in the number directly, or you can choose to, hello sphere, it's clearly bigger than my grid. So this is 30 inches wide. If you ever need to scale once you've made, and you can go to your primitive transform menu there. So primitives 1 over is transform, and you'll have the scale option, and that lets you drag to shrink. You can choose to make it also, if it's 30 and I wanted it half, I would 0.5 it, and vice versa. So those are some options for you. So just do that one more time for you. Enter. Great. Okay. So in my workspace, I grab my sphere, I create my shape either by clicking or entering. So whichever way you want. When you're scaling it, it will also tell you the size you're scaling it to. So you can know your factor right away, or you can scale, and you can see on the grid how much space is taking up of my grid to represent the size. Up to you how you choose to scale. Now the question was, how do you make it hollow? When you design in Autodesk, and it becomes a filled shape. So what you do is you export it as an STL file, which is what our printer recognizes, and you hit OK and save it, noted by your size, because I know you're going to have multiple files, so call it 1 inch, whatever it may be, just so it's a file. This file itself will end up being opened in the MakerBot printer. I don't have the printer here as I'm on my home computer, but I just wanted you to see the concept of it. So we're using a MakerBot. So when we go to select our printing, in our setting menu, our printer defaults to having a shell of 10% of an infilm, just to give it weighting and protection. If you'd like to have it hollow, you can choose 0%. Now, based on the hollowness of the print, it becomes more and more delicate. So you don't want to have absolutely none, as it will create a very fragile, breakable shape. But obviously, you're trying to create a delicate thing. You wouldn't want 100% to have a large, heavy-weighted object. So when you go to print in the settings, that's when you actually hollow the object. So you don't have to worry about that until you actually go into printing time. So that's the answer to that question.